Could this be the Tennessee Titan offense next year? Possibly, but there are a lot of factors that you have to factor in when it comes to this Julio Jones trade. And let's go ahead and talk about it right now. Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is D-Man coming back at it again with another YouTube video, and today we're going to be talking about this possibility here again. That's a big possibility, big if here, because it's gonna, you know, the situation with Julio's contract is the thing I want to talk about now. His contract, he's you know, it's pretty expensive, guys. It's pretty expensive. So if this were to happen, you know, we only got like 5-6 mil right now. So we'd definitely go over the cap if we were able to, you know, make this happen. But like I said, man, the possibility for what this offense could look like, man, I think we led the league last year in points per game, maybe, you know, top 3, I'm pretty sure. But for the most part of last year, I'm pretty sure we led the league in points per game, you know, just because of Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Corey Davis. And if you put Julio in replace of Corey, I think it'd look about the same, but maybe even better. But you got to think about how we would get this done. It's going to be very difficult, but again, if there's one GM to do it, it's definitely John Robinson. I do have all my trust in John Robinson. So again, we do have the 22nd overall pick in the draft, and oh man, this offense right now, I'm just thinking how deadly it would be. And again, AJ, you already see what AJ said. He said he would give up 11 for Julio to come to Tennessee. So yeah, that's big talk right there, because I know a lot of, you know, Julio, I guess, could go back to 8 because you know, if he does switch teams, you could actually switch your number just like Pat Pete did at Minnesota. So he's back to 7 like he wore at LSU. But yeah, I guess Julio could change to 8. I don't think he would mind that at all, to be honest. But again, the situation here is the Tennessee Titans, if they're going to win a Super Bowl in the next 10 years, I do believe it's going to be in the next 2 to 3 years. Because we are in a window right now where we have a very, very talented group of people that, you know, the next few years, I think we're going to look a lot different. Now, we're going to look a lot different this year than we were last year, because you guys saw how many people, you know, how many guys, you know, were released, you know, signed another, you know, we lost Jonnu Smith, we lost Corey Davis, we lost, we had to, you know, drop Kenny Vaccaro. We had to release Malcolm Butler. So a lot of guys were dropped, but again, I think the safety position's fine because I love Amani Hooker a lot. So Amani Hooker and Kevin Byard are both guys that I think are going to play well due to the pass rush situation we finally got fixed. But again, who knows? Bud Dupree might just absolutely play terrible, but again, hopefully we've got that problem fixed. And if we just have a decent defense next year with this offense, I think we're going to be A-okay, because again, Josh Reynolds, I think if we're thinking Josh Reynolds is a number 2 receiver, I just don't know what we're thinking, because he is not a number 2 receiver. Again, I think he would be a great number 3 receiver behind A.J. Brown, someone else, and then Josh Reynolds. So like I'm saying here, guys, I think if Josh Reynolds gets us 400, 500, 600 yards, I'd be satisfied, because A.J. Brown's going to get the bulk, you know, of the passes this year. And again, if we get a solid number 2 like Julio, or we draft someone in the draft, I think we'll be okay. But again, you got to have someone else out there other than A.J. Brown, because A.J. Brown's going to get all the attention, and so is Derrick Henry. So that's why this tandem is so crazy good. Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown, which guy are you going to stop? If you pick one, the other one is going to do its thing. You pick the other's going to, you know, it's 1-2 punch just like that. But like I said, if we can get another solid number 2 receiver, like Corey Davis played very well last year. Again, he dropped a few balls. And the balls he dropped were in like big time situations, but like I said, for the most part, Corey played very well. I think he was like 20 yards shy of 1,000 yards. So like I said, I mean, Corey Davis played very well, guys. He played very, very well. But you got to have someone to replace him, and whether it be Julio Jones or someone in the draft, those are 2 good options. Now, like I said, the situation with Julio and his contract, that's going to be a bit of an issue for us to, you know, take care of. But again, all this is a big if, and it's a big possibility. But again, wouldn't this offense just be absolutely lethal? And my goodness, I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. Again, June 2nd is the date that this is most likely going to happen. Now, we're probably going to hear news about it beforehand, before June 2nd. But again, Julio, or I should say the Falcons, are going to save a lot more money if they wait till June 2nd to make this trade happen. Now, we're probably going to hear about teams agreeing to do the trade, like Falcons and someone else agreeing to do the trade before. But it will become official on June 2nd because they'll save a lot more money if they wait till June 2nd. But I do believe we'll hear about it before. And maybe we'll hear about it draft night. Who knows? That's tomorrow night. I think more than likely this would involve their fourth overall pick too. So, yeah, because the fourth overall pick is they're in a weird situation there because I think they're in a rebuilding process and obviously you would want to trade Julio and save some room there money-wise. And also, they probably would want more picks. So they would more than likely trade back in the draft. So they would probably, packaging Julio Jones and the fourth overall pick wouldn't shock me at all. I think that's their plan. So again, maybe you hear about this on draft night, but maybe you don't. Who knows at this point? But again, I know a lot of Falcons fans just, love Julio Jones to death and don't want him to leave. But I think that, Falcons fans, I think it's almost time for y'all to start rebuilding because, you got Calvin Ridley, who's very, very good. And I think he could definitely be a #1 receiver for you guys. But again, Julio, late in his career, I think Tennessee will be a great fit because, like I said, Julio Jones is late in his career, injury prone, if you want to call him that. But again, he didn't play many games. I believe he played like 9 games last year. He still averaged like 90 yards a game. And I think A.J. Brown averaged like 70 yards a game. And Corey averaged like 50, 55 yards a game, something like that. So again, Julio averaging 90 yards a game is a lot more than, Corey. So I think that'd be a pretty big, impact. But again, will he stay healthy? That's the big question. And also money talk, guys. The contract on him is going to be very interesting to see how John Robinson works that into this trade if he wants to try and do this trade. Now, maybe he just don't even want to try and do it, which I could understand completely. But yeah, Julio Jones in a Titans uniform, man, that'd be something else to see. Again, another situation here, they're both number 11, so who's going to switch? Obviously, you see AJ would give up 11, but again, I think Julio could just go to 8. I think I already mentioned this earlier in the video, but yeah, like I said, I think Julio, that would be pretty cool to see Julio go back to 8 like he was in at Alabama. But yeah, guys, let me know down below. Again, picks that Atlanta would receive from Julio. I don't think it would be too many picks, maybe even just 1 or 2. Obviously, I think at least 2, but maybe 2, maybe 3, because a lot of teams don't want to go after an old guy like Julio. But the Titans, like I said, we're in a window right now where we can win the Super Bowl in the next 2-3 years. So Julio in the next 2-3 years, I think, can be very, very good. And now after that, probably not. But again, the next 2, maybe 3 years, I think Julio could produce the same numbers he has, throughout his career. Maybe a little bit lower yardage because he's going to be paired up with A.J. Brown. He's been the one receiver his whole career. But again, I think that this offense would be almost unstoppable. But yeah, you just gotta, it's just a big question right now. It's just a big question. But again, I just wanted your guys' opinions on this. So yeah, with that being said, let me know down below what you would be willing to give up. If you're a fan of a different team, let me know down below if you want to, you're interested in Julio Jones. But like I said, I think the Titans are a very, very interesting team that Julio could end up on, and I think that would be a very, in my opinion, if I was Julio Jones, the Titans are a very good scenario to be in your last few years, just because we are a very talented team. And we just beefed up the pass rush with Bud Dupree and Nico Autry. And if we can draft a good cornerback, a good, very solid cornerback, and that can be cornerback 1 this next season, I think that it's very possible that we could win a Super Bowl in the next 2 to 3 years. But we have the pieces. It's just whether or not we can make it happen, guys. So yeah, I think we've got the pieces. We fixed the pass rush issue this free agency. We still need a solid cornerback. Like I said, safeties are okay because I think with the pass rush, safeties are going to be back at where they were, like Kevin Byard was a couple years ago. And again, Amani Hooker played very well last year also. So I think safeties are fine. Cornerbacks, you got Jack Rabbit. You also have, I think, that guy we signed from the Browns. We also have Christian Fulton. So again, I think we still need a good, there's still cornerbacks out there in free agency too that we could sign, but I think we would probably wait till after the draft at this point. But again, I think Caleb Farley is a guy, a cornerback that I like a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if we drafted Caleb Farley at 22 if he does get to us. There are a few others, but again, I think they're going to be drafted above, higher than, or I should say lower than 22. But yeah, Caleb Farley is an interesting guy. I wouldn't be surprised if we draft him. But if we end up drafting a wide receiver, I think you can take this deal off the table, because I do think that it would either be Julio Jones or a wide receiver. But I think if we wait and draft a wide receiver, maybe second or third round, Julio is still an option, because I still do think we need a wide receiver just in case we can't get Julio. So again, I think draft cornerback in the first round or wide receiver. You got to draft either one of those guys, either a cornerback or a wide receiver. And then in the second round, whoever you drafted in the first round, draft the other position. So if you draft the wide receiver first round, draft the cornerback second. If you draft the cornerback first, draft the wide receiver second. But I still think you need a wide receiver just in case this trade doesn't go through. But again, this is a big F, big possibility. But I wanted to see your guys' opinions down below. Comment what you think about this. And yeah, with that being said, that is going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. And until next time, I'll see y'all.